Okay, simplify. So always know your radical degrees. These would be both 2's. Then you make a parentheses to the 1/2 power. And then 8 times 2 is 16. What the x is, you add the powers. 2 plus 2 is 4. I set up my little concoction here. This and this won't apply in this part. It will in the next. So we have 16 times x. So 16, 1. 1 times 1/2 is 1/2. 4 times 1/2 is 2. Okay. Now you circle those powers. The one with a whole power you bring over here. Okay. That's done. Now the one with a rational exponent you bring over here. Now circle that bottom and see if you can cancel it. So I look up 16. 16's in the 2 row. It's equal to 4. Okay. So now it's 4 to the first power. It's no longer a rational exponent. Okay. 4 to the power of 1. That 2 is gone. So is the 16. Okay, well that makes an easy situation. These are both whole exponents, so I don't need to make a radical. I just drop them. Then I simplify. 4 to the first is 4 times x to the second. I don't need a radical. I do not have any more in the denominator. Okay, next one. Your radicals are both 3's, so just 1 parentheses to the 1/3 power. Then, first you have this factor of 5 here. Okay, I'll circle the root degrees. So you got an outside factor of 5. If there's another outside factor, you'd multiply, but there's not. Then I take 9 times 24, 216. And then y to the second times y to the first would be y to the third. You add the powers. So we have a base 5 and a base 16, base of 216 and a base of y. So 5's just to the 1, okay? 216, 1, 1 times 1/3 is 1/3. Then on y, 3 times 1/3 is 1 whole. None of them are negative, so then the whole ones I bring over, so it'd be 5 to the 1 times y to the 1. And then with that 3, I put 216 to the 1/3 power. Okay. Now see if we can get rid of that 3 right now. So you look, 216 there, it's equals 6. So now this is the 216 and the 3 are gone, and I just have 6 to the first power. Okay. All right, so we got rid of all our fractions. They're all whole exponents. We just write them down here. And we can simplify these two. So we put those 5 times 6 times y, and then 5 times, you can put the first power on the y, that's fine. So 5 times 6 is 30, 30y. 30y to the first if you want to get real technical. Okay, now always know your radical degrees. So both of those go to the power 1/4. So we have two factors outside. 2 times 2 is 4. You slip that outside. Then the insides, I take 81 times 32. That's 2,592. Don't get scared. Okay, it's right. Then x to the 5th, x to the 3rd. So I've got x to the 8th then. You add the powers. Then y to the 4th, y to the 1st would be y to the power of 5. So I have a 4 times 2,592 times x times y. So 4, I put a 1, but that does not get distributed. Then a 1 here. 1 times 1/4 is 1/4. 8 times 1/4 is 2. Okay, and then 5 times 1/4 is 1 and 1/4. So remember, the 1 and 1/4 represents two separate powers on y. There's going to be two factors of y that I write down. Okay, none of them are negative. Okay. Then line up your whole exponents. 1, 2, 1. So 4 to the 1, x to the 2, y to the 1. Now put your rationals together. 2592 to the 1/4 times y to the 1/4. Okay, now circle those bottoms, okay? Not these, they're whole exponents. 4, unfortunately that's not on the list, so we can't get rid of it there. And the y is never on the list. Alright, so I line these up. Always put your whole ones outside, so 4 to the 1 times x to the 2 times y to the 1. Then these 4's, I make a 4th root, and I put 2592, and then y to the 1st. Okay. Now we simplify. 4 to the 1st is 4, x to the 2nd, y you can keep the 1st or you can leave it out, doesn't matter. Then I make my radical with the 4, and I put the variable inside. You can put y to the 1st or y, but then I need to break down the coefficient inside, 2592. So you divide it into 2/4 roots. 2592 divided by 2401 decimal. Bingo, 1296 and 2. So that is equal to 6. So you bring the 6 outside, and then the 2 is placed inside of the radical. Now you can multiply the 6 and the 4, that's 24. So 24 times x to the 2nd times y times the 4th root of 2y. Okay, next one, 1/3. 6 times 16 is 96. So this is going to be pretty easy because we got just a 96 and it's 1/3, not a negative. So you bring it over here, circle the 3, see if 96 is there. It's not, okay, so I cannot get rid of it there. And then I don't have any whole exponents, just a fraction, so I make that into a cubed root, and I put 96 to the 1st, which would just be 96. Now, see if you can simplify. Make your radical. You don't have any outside factors yet. Then make it into 2 and start dividing. So 96 divided by 64 decimal, divided by 27 decimal, 8 and 12. Okay. So that's 2, 2's out, 12's in. Now we're going to look at some division. Now remember, these are 2's, so you make it to the half power. Now you're going to make a line, but you're going to try to simplify. So you divide the coefficients. 56 divided by 7, that's 8. You want to put 8 on top. Okay, then the x's, 5 and 1, you get rid of the 1 and minus 1, and now it's x 4th, and that is on top. And y 5th and y to the 1st, you do the same thing. That becomes y to the 4th on top. Nothing on bottom. So you have 8 times x times y. So 1 times 1/2 is 1/2. 4 times 1/2 is 2. 4 times 1/2 is 2. Okay. Okay, so put the whole exponents first. X to the 2nd times y to the 2nd, and then times 8 to the 1/2. Okay, circle that bottom and see if 8 is 8 on the 2 list. Nope, 8 is not here. You don't look over here, you're looking here. 8 is not a perfect square. Okay, so it stays, so I come down here, the whole exponents I drop, and when I get to the fraction, I make a 2, and 8 to the 1st would just be 8. So x to the 2nd does not simplify, neither does the y to the 2nd. And then inside the root, well, I try to simplify the square root of 8. Okay, so 8. We would start with 8 divided by 4, that's 2. So these are both 2's, 4 and 2. So the 2 comes out as a coefficient outside, and the 2 stays there as an inside. Okay, next problem. 1/4. So I divide 162 by 2, and that's 81. Then the x, there's no x, you can't do anything with an x and y. X to the 4th would just stay there on top, y to the 8th is on bottom. Okay? You cannot cancel x's and y's. So we have 81 times x and then y on bottom. So 1 times, that's 1/4. 4 times 1/4 is 1. 8 times 1/4 is 2. Alright, so circle your holes and put those first. Then circle your fraction, okay, and put that last. Remember to put it on the side it's on. Now look up your 4s. 81's here, that's 3. Okay, so we now have 3 to the 1st power. Okay, that 1 pops up there. So now they're all holes. Okay, x to the 1st times 3 to the 1st, y to the 2nd. I don't have any more rationals, so that's why you don't see a radical. Now simplify what you can. So 3 to the 1st would be 3, and then the x to the 1st or x, then y to the 2nd. You can put a 1 on the x if you want. Okay, now this last one is a little weird. Okay. You're going to divide 20 by 45, but here's a problem. That's a decimal. Okay. So if it's a decimal, you're going to reduce it. Okay. 20 and 45 are both divisible by 5. Okay. Those will both divide by 5. So we're going to divide by 5. So I'm going to put GCF equals 5. So then you divide by 20 by 5, that's 4. 45 is 9. So we end up with 4 over 9. Okay. Now on the A, we got a 1 and a 2. So the 1 goes away, minus 1. So it's a to the 1 on the bottom. Okay. And the B, 1 and 3, you cancel the 1, minus 1. So it's B to the 2 on the bottom. Okay. So you have 4 on top, and then 9 times A times B on bottom. So you got a 1. 1 times 1/2 is 1/2. 1 times 1/2 is 1/2. 1 times 1/2 is 1/2. Now 2 times 1/2 is 1. Okay, none of them are negatives. So the only whole exponent I have, I circle that first, bring that over. It's still on bottom. Then all the fractions I put where they belong. So times 9 to the 1/2 times a to the 1/2. Now you always want to circle the bottoms over here. Now it's on the 2 list, 4 is on there, it's 2. Okay, so that is 2 to the 1. Now on the 2 list, 9 is there as well, that's 3. So that would be 3 to the 1. And then the A is not going to be there, that'll have to stay. Okay. Actually, I have not taught you how to deal with that A right there, so we're going to forego that. The rest of that problem. I've never taught you what to do with a fraction on the bottom. So